Anyway, the chicken story is about, I was with my narcissistic husband, and someone we knew was getting married and moving, and he had chickens. I've always wanted chickens. I love animals, and so I said, hey, I would love these chickens. So my husband talks to this person. He picks up these chickens. He fixes kind of a makeshift chicken coop for them. It was not a good chicken coop. I ended up later trying to fix it myself because, of course, my ex was really, oh, sure, we'll get chickens and it'll be great. We'll have eggs and I'll make you a chicken coop and we'll do all of this. And as soon as I got those chickens, nobody helped me with them. He didn't help me build a chicken coop. We had them in this little tiny box with a little gate around the outside. It wasn't enough, so I paid someone to help me put up some posts and put some more area for these chickens. And as the year went on, I kept saying to my husband, these chickens are not going to make it through the winter, obviously. Where are we going to put these chickens? You promised me you'd make me a chicken coop, and these chickens are going to freeze to death. And I loved these chickens. And not only that, they're living things that needed protection from the winter, right? That's just reality. And so he refused. And worst part about it was it was a building that he was building. And what he had told me was that it was going to be the chicken coop. And he was slowly but surely, adding another 2x4, doing this and that. And then he would stop working on it. And I kept saying, it's fall. You're not even close to getting this done. And as he's building this, finally one day he calls me and asks me to come out and look at what he's building. And he's not building a chicken coop. All right? We're coming on October. It's getting to be 30, 40 degrees at night. And he tells me, I'm building you a sauna. You always wanted a sauna. You're from the UP. Saunas were part of your life. I'm building you a sauna. And I said, I don't want a sauna. I want a place for my chickens to live. And he continued to build the sauna. And he kept telling me how he's building me this sauna and he's doing it for me and how ungrateful I am. So in the meantime, I'm forced to find a home for these chickens because I don't have the ability to build a chicken coop myself. I don't have the money because he controlled the money. And so my last resort was I need to find someone to take my chickens. Thank goodness I had a friend who, she used to crochet hats for her chickens. This is how much she loved her chickens. And my chickens, I used to hold my chickens. Like I hugged them. So to find someone that was going to love my chickens the way I did, that was going to take them, was priceless to me. So she came out and she picked up those chickens and she took those chickens to her house and she took care of them and loved those chickens. And I was able to rest at night knowing that they weren't going to freeze, because that's what would have happened. My narcissistic asshole husband was going to let chickens freeze outside just to prove a lesson to me. And then what he did was he took that chicken coop that he promised to make and turned it into this weaponized gift that he was going to build me something that I never asked for. I never asked for a sauna. Never once in my life did I ask for a sauna. I talked about saunas. I talked about the health reasons that you should have a sauna. I talked about our Finnish neighbors who used to do saunas every Tuesday night. So he knew that was something in my past, in my history, that I thought was a good thing. So he literally took the time and built a sauna for me, weaponized it against me, told everyone that I was ungrateful, and then the icing on top of the cake was, not only did I have to find a place for my pets, my chickens, to have a good life and not be killed, he did such a half-assed job of building this sauna that it was full of leaks. So even though he put a furnace or a wood stove in there and seats And everything that you would need for a sauna, it was leaking. So you could never get it warm enough to even use it like a sauna. So all this energy that he put in to something that I never asked for, then he does it so you can't even use it. And it was all because he didn't want me to be happy. He wanted to torture me because of my pets. So when I tell you that narcissistic people are evil, that's just one story I have. That's one tiny story. That's it. But he walked around that town and told everybody how I was ungrateful because he built me this sauna and I just wouldn't use it. Anyway, I don't know why I thought of that story today, but I think someone needs to hear it. I think someone needs to understand that these people, they take time and effort looking for ways to torture you. That was a planned, thought out process. He allowed me to have something I'd have thought that I would never be able to have. Those chickens. I always wanted chickens. My grandpa had chickens when I was growing up. It was something that meant a lot to me. And then he gives it to me just to use it over the course of a whole summer and into the winter, having me worry about how these chickens are going to be taken care of. How are they going to be protected from animals? How are they going to be protected from the cold? And all that time, the whole intention was, how can I torture my wife?